Hello, it looks like we're live.
It's the one where we.
Well, we're going live without the intro and all that stuff, huh?
Huh?
I said it went live without the intro and all that stuff, huh?
I just played the intro.
No, it never came on my side.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, we're on. So
Well, it's shown up on my end that the intro hit.
okay. No, we're getting a late start due to some technical difficulties on the
A whole
software
lot of
side of things.
yeah. EV Mux has been a pain for for 2 weeks now. I don't know what it is. So, all right. Due to the late start, we're going to try to make this short and sweet. See if we can actually do that or not. Yeah, I already see that smirk on Donald's face that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, we can do it.
Um, Tonight we will be talking about Saturday night's main event, number 39.
Which was May 24th.
Let's see here, come on, here we go. Trying to
I had a page pulled up
pull up
showed
the
all the
card.
matches.
Yeah, so Saturday night's main event was in Tampa, Florida, at the Euglin Center. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not.
Is
It
that close to where they were doing the COVID um, matches and stuff?
Uh,
Sports Center.
let's see here.
I bet it's pretty close.
Hmm. It was one of the places that they had the Thunderdome. Yes, it was one of the places that they had the Thunderdome, and this is also the same arena that had the 1995 Royal Rumble, which is oddly enough one of my favorites, even though pretty much everybody else kind of crap on it. Mainly because the 1 minute intervals between competitors instead of the usual 90 seconds or 2 minutes. Um, but I actually liked it for what it was.
The Rumble.
Um, there were 5 matches on there, six altogether. They actually had a dark match that I was not aware of until now, um, where American made the Cretus brothers beat Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wild of the Latino World Order. Um, did not see that. Like I said, I did not know about that match until just now. Um, but the opening match was CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I guess a good match to start off with. Of course, the Bronson Reed jumping in towards the end. I don't know why you would do that kind of climactic thing at the beginning, which I guess they were saving for the grand finale at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. A good match to start out with. Um, the thing that annoyed me the most was the commercials during the matches. I went back and counted them in a 2 hour time frame. There were 10 commercials.
Well, when I was watching, I didn't even see commercials. Um, I don't know if it was because I was watching the replay or what, but it just had a break, uh, or just said we'll be right back soon, and that's all I got to see. For like the 2.5 minute, 3 minutes per shot they were doing.
Yeah, I didn't. Did you watch it live? Oh, you said the replay?
Yeah, I was trying to watch live and then trying to think of where I was, what was going on. I had to wind up uh, going back and doing a replay.
Okay. I was watching it live, and that was what was getting me all these commercials. They had a commercial before they even started the match. Then they had another commercial in the middle of the match. But they average 5 commercials per hour, which is overkill. Way too much overkill.
Well, I got to pay the bill somehow.
Um, but I thought it was a good match. I expected Seth and Braun to be the winners.
Yeah, I mean, you got the way this whole storyline's going with that. I mean, you can't have them lose right now.
No,
They're building up a good great deal now. Where it's going from here, I don't know. Um, I I really expected at some point in time for Becky to join in. I know we've talked about that before.
yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't done that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing with her storyline, the way things are going. I know she's still having issues with Valkyria,
Yeah,
um, but I'm just waiting to. I could see her joining them, and then somehow or another them interfering and Becky winning the title.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I am pretty sure that she will. I was glad to see Bronson Reed come back. Um, it was a surprise, especially considering that the rivalry that he had with Seth
Hmm.
last year. But aside from that, they even acknowledged it on Monday Night Raw.
Right, and they did that with Breaker also. So
I don't remember that.
they
But
did it because Braun Breaker and him were staring at each other.
I don't. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember any matches between the two last year.
But at any rate, I kind of like where they're going with this new Paul Heyman direction. Um, and I noticed that he kept throwing out the tribal chief stuff during the show that night. So at some point in time, I see that coming to a head uh, with Roman and whoever else he can muster up at that point in time.
Maybe we'll see Seth, Braun, and Bronson against Roman, Jimmy, and Jay.
It might maybe down the road. Jay is mixed up with uh, spoiler alert with returning Cody. I did see a comment that Rikishi had made about what are they doing with Jay having him as a tag match at Money in the Bank when he's the world champion.
I saw that.
But you really don't. You ain't got enough time to build a good match rivalry before Money in the Bank.
Well, that's what happens if you have a PLE more, more than once a month.
Mm-hmm. So
'Cause,
it's easier. It was easier to kind of throw that in there pretty quick, and you already got something built on any already. I can see why they're doing the tag match thing.
yeah,
So it wasn't that hard to build onto that match when you've already got rivalry stuff going on. So introducing somebody new for him to wrestle is one on one is just too short a time.
Because right now we got two this week. Well, three this month. Um, Money in the Bank this Saturday. And then 3 weeks later is Night of Champions. And then 2 weeks after that is Saturday night's main event.
Isn't
Three
there
weeks
something
after
else?
that, huh?
Isn't there something else besides Money in the Bank? Money in the Bank is something else the same
World,
day?
Worlds Collide.
Yeah, okay.
That's the one with AAA. Then 3 weeks after Saturday night's main event is SummerSlam. And then 4 weeks after that, though still in the same month, is Clash in Paris.
A
So,
busy 2 months, busy summer.
boom. One, two, three, four, five, six within the next 3 months. Yeah. Um, and that is really going to hurt with like what you were saying, trying to build up these storylines. Because way back when they were doing 5 a year, it was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like, holy cow. But to be fair, attention span's not as good.
True.
So so you got that, um, which is sad, but that is the way of the world today.
That's true. um, what was the next match?
The next the next match was Zelina Vega defending the United States Championship against Chelsea Green. To me, this was the worst match of the night.
Mm-hmm. It's a hard pick between that one and the Cena match.
Oh, that well, that was my top match of the night.
Really?
Yes, I'll explain why.
Cena in truth.
I'll, I'll explain why. Um, I don't know what it was with Selena and Chelsea. Now, normally I would find that match really, really exciting.
I
Um,
I want to say, I hate to interrupt you. I want to say they ended that match a little quick because of the injury to Green.
they might have. I didn't see the injury happen when it did. I did not even notice it until the pinfall happened.
Right. I went back and kind of watched the replay. Trying to think. I think it happened before they actually got on the turnbuckle towards the end. I think it happened right when she did that 619. I
Yeah,
think is when she got popped. Um,
yeah. I saw
and
I saw that clip, and holy cow! I don't know what happened there.
I
It
think it happened during the 619, and it wasn't really bleeding at that point in time. But when she got up on the top, there was some communication there that I thought I saw, and then next thing the match is over.
well, they had to because look at how much
She
time
was,
was left for the other three matches.
yeah, she was busted. She was busted open pretty good as far as her nose.
Yeah. The report was that it was a clean break in her nose, um, which I'm not really sure what the difference is. It, a broken nose is a broken nose.
Well, I mean, it's just cartilage up there, so I mean, it's not. There's no real bone in there. It's just cartilage.
Uh,
So any kind of pop there is going to cause all those blood vessels to bleed and all. inside your sinus cavity. So
When I hear a broken nose, I'm thinking it's the bone.
yeah, well, there's no bone right here; it's just all cartilage.
Up here there is.
Well, you got one like right here,
The cartilage is at the tip of your nose.
but you ever seen a skull?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no bone in that
It,
hole.
it comes down about halfway down your bridge. This is nose. This is bone right here.
Oh, look at the skull, man. There's hardly anything in that nose cavity. It's just if there is, it's a little bitty piece.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
anyway, to me it seemed like throughout the match they didn't have very good chemistry. That was just my take on it from beginning to end. I'm like,
kind of thrown together ish. We need something to fill in. Let's throw these two in there.
well, in a way it was. I think they literally just announced this match the night before.
So you ain't got a whole lot of time to think about, you know, move set.
Right. So Chelsea now is wearing this face mask. Um, I noticed that she was wearing it on Friday night. I did not get a good look at it, but it looked kind of fancy-ish.
Well, it's kind of like when Taker a long time ago had his orbital broke by.
Well, she didn't quite go that far, but the one that Taker had, that was
I
kind
mean,
of,
his was a complete facial.
yeah, that was for his orbital socket.
Right.
But still, that was pretty spooky looking.
Well, you got to. It's just like Chelsea Green. She's got to make it look glamorous, other than just a
Yeah,
piece of tape going across your face.
but there were several wrestlers that have had to do face masks before. Cody had to do it one time. Italia had to do it one time. I remember way back in the day, Virgil did it. He Virgil actually wore his at WrestleMania 8.
Yeah, that's a guy that didn't get a whole lot of respect
Yeah. So
for
it
being a main player for many years.
hey
Chris,
Chris,
what's up, Chris?
the
Yeah,
match itself, it was just barely over 5 minutes, so it ended quick. Um, there might have been a commercial in the middle of that match too. I don't remember. It wouldn't have surprised me.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, but to me that was worst match of the night. Um, the next match, however, to me that was match of the night. That was the one I was looking forward to. John Cena and R Truth.
That was the best match of the night to you.
I That was my favorite match of the night. Well, it was entertaining as hell. R Truth comes out looking just like John Cena. He used John Cena's moves against him, and the fans were loving it.
Now I like the that concept of it, but the move set
He came out to
on
John Cena's
itself,
music. No,
yeah,
no, no, no. I
not
am
yet.
thinking this is a work because that is a travesty if he really is released.
Well, his contract's going to run out, so it's not like a full fledged release. So, and who knows how long his contract's going to be? We're talking about R Truth announced
Right.
today that his contract is not being renewed after 17 years with the company. So maybe we'll see him behind the scenes. Maybe he's not going to be in the on the TV so much on matches. Maybe he's going to be utilized, uh, on the camps and all.
Well, if he comes back as a producer, they wouldn't be able to do much better than him because he could tell you how to maximize your time on screen. Because
Yeah.
there's nobody better than him. Um,
Now that would be a weird twist. New leader of the Wyatt Six.
yeah, that
That'd be a weird, crazy twist.
I don't
I
know.
could see him actually doing something with that. He's that good. He can,
Why not? He was part of the Judgment Day.
yeah, selling T-shirts.
Yeah, but I don't think YS6 would be take too kindly to that. Not like Judgment Day did.
No, the six is going to be that mysterious, dark entity that we need in the wrestling world right now. You really ain't had nothing since Taker. Um,
R-Truth being so pissed off at being released, he comes back with the YS6 with a completely dark, different attitude.
Kind of like Fowler, Ben Fowler, when the Demon.
That needs to come back. He hasn't done that in I think last time he did that was with Edge.
They did. Was it a couple WrestleManias ago that he came back under that persona?
At
Or at least one
WrestleMania
match.
against Edge. Yeah.
Oh,
That's the last time that I remember it.
truth,
Uh,
truth.
and maybe if because his contract was running out, they gave him this big match with John as sort of like a last hurrah for him. So I can see that. Um, but wow, so many people will want him to be the one to end John Cena's reign. Have him be the one to retire John Cena.
Well, I can see kind of the workings going on of how the storyline is probably going to play out. I feel that down the road, Cody is going to wind up retiring him.
Yeah. Um, I gotta admit, Cody did a fine job. He did a fine job. He has some good matches, but I'm just not feeling it with him.
He's the face of the company right now.
I
Even
know.
though he's not there,
Well, he is the face of the company technically, but every time Roman comes back, they all focus on him.
I'm not sure what they're doing with him right now.
Yeah.
And it
Can,
may be choice. It may be his choice. Look, I'm going to be a part-time player right now because I've been carrying the torch so long. He may be, you know,
well, he did say something about having another year or two left.
if he's got
Yeah.
another year or two left, then he'll have one more good year.
Yeah. So
I would
I'm pretty
still love to see
sure
him and The Rock
I
fight
don't.
at some point in time.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have another title run before he goes, but I don't know. I just don't feel it with Cody. But I get his value. I get it. But there's just something about him that is not clicking with me.
I want to see his persona twist a little bit. Maybe not full heel, but kind of go into that direction where you're not so cookie cutter, good guy.
It does seem like that turn is starting to happen, or at least the twist.
Hmm.
Because he can't stay cookie cutter for very long because the fans are just not going to have it.
Yeah, you're gonna get tired. It's gonna fall into the old Hogan
Yeah.
Logan persona where you're getting tired of seeing the same ending, the same guy win all the time.
Some of them are already booing him at WrestleMania.
Yeah, um, that's because of the whole Cena thing. I think if it was anybody else, they wouldn't have. Um, there's still a lot of Cena fans that are looking for his last run, and they're still supporting him regardless of what he does on screen.
It'll definitely be interesting to see what happens with him. But with Cena, I think at some point he will turn face again, and it'll probably end up happening during the retirement match that I was hoping was going to be with our truth. But if he's gone, then obviously that's not going to happen.
You still got SummerSlam. Um, maybe at SummerSlam after Money in the Bank, I'm gonna pick Cody and Jay winning. Um, Cody probably pinning Cena for the win. However he does it, and that's going to lead up a match between him and Cena, and it might happen at that point at SummerSlam where they flip flop.
Unless, as we already saw it on Friday, unless something happens with John and Logan, and Logan causes John to get pinned, or vice versa. Maybe we might see John versus Logan at SummerSlam. I think that would be a good match.
That would be, and if say maybe Logan is going to be the one to retire Cena.
Oh no, 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 no,
Why not?
no.
Passing of the torch.
I cannot imagine John passing the torch to Logan. Logan is phenomenal. No doubt about that. But I don't know if he is the kind of person you would want to pass the torch because, one, he's not a full timer, and chances are he never will.
I thought he was a full timer now.
Logan?
Yeah.
No, no. The
Well,
last had,
I
well,
guess
besides with Jay,
I guess with him they really can't. Oh, excuse me. I guess with him they really can't bet on him being a full timer because he comes in and out a lot. He's full timer, then he's not. He's full timer, then he's not.
let's
So
see.
I could see where that's an issue.
Okay, so Logan has only had 5 matches this year. Um, and he only does PLEs unless it is a qualifying match for something. Other than that, he has only wrestled on PLEs. So it who knows?
I guess I guess until they get some kind of commitment from him, they can't really stake a whole lot of stuff on him. More than Cody has.
Yeah, it. Well, look how often he wrestled when he got the United States title. He defended that championship one, 2 times, and he held it for 200 and some odd days. He only defended it twice before he lost it on a third defense.
That's crazy.
It is. And if they put the world title on him and he does that same thing, that's worse than what Brock Lesnar did and Roman did.
True.
So
I'm going to take back
unless,
what I said.
huh?
Take back what I said. No Logan Cena.
I don't know it, but it'll probably end up being Cody to do it. But still, I prefer not, but WWE is going to do what they want. And regards to more than Cody has had this year, I'm looking at this right now. He's had 13 matches this year. So he's had almost three times the amount that Logan did.
This is July. Yeah, no, this is June.
June 1st.
TKO WWE.
Yeah, well, right now there's a lot of people not real happy with TKO WWE.
Yeah, it
Oh,
is what it is.
um, on to kind of sidetrack a little bit. I don't know if you noticed, but it's been announced that Vince McMahon has formally created and established a new company called 14th and I.
The hell is that?
14th and I is basically the corner where the original WWF headquarters was at. 14th Street and I Street in Stamford, Connecticut. Um, and he established three different things. It's 14th and I Holdings, Investment, and he had trademark. I heard that.
You hear that nonsense?
I heard like a rumbling, like maybe somebody with a really loud truck driving by.
No, there is a shop that is a quarter of a mile away from me, and they get over there on Sundays and weekends and work on their stuff and
Uh,
turn their bass way up on their stuff, and it rattles the windows in my house.
yes, Chris. We talked about Carlito earlier too.
So, back
So,
to Cena and R-Truth.
well, yeah. So I thought that was
Be right back.
okay. Yeah, we're definitely doing that. Okay, Holdings Investment and Management. Yes, I did read about Mariah May. Seems like a lot of people are looking forward to her making that move. I haven't really seen much of her. I haven't seen her wrestle. I've seen clips, so I don't really know how good she is. He forgot to mute himself. So I'm curious to what we're going to see out of Mariah May. I'm curious to see if she's going to keep that name because I read somewhere on X, I think, that when she was in school, she went by the name Triple M. So maybe that's actually her real name, Mariah May. Let's see. Yeah, Mariah May Mead. Mariah May Mead. That here's somebody. Sounds like an EVP with a spirit. Well, you might not be too far off.
Sorry about that.
You forgot to mute yourself. We could hear everything.
Oh well, at least I didn't cuss.
So what was that?
Same thing as last weekend. Had to call the cops on them last weekend. I guess I'm going to do it again.
Oh wow,
I mean, I'm all for loud music, but you're rattling the dang windows in my house when you're a quarter mile away.
really?
Yeah.
So that's got to be really loud where it's at.
Well, the problem is you're in a big shop area where it's all metal, so it's just acting like a big speaker.
Wow. Um, it was just talking about Mariah May, who apparently has left AEW, and people are now looking for her to come to the WWE. I haven't seen her wrestle, but apparently a lot of people like her, and the expectation is for her to come to WWE. So we'll have to stay up on that one. So it's no surprise to see that John Cena won. I don't understand why it wasn't a title match.
Yeah, if you're gonna be, if he's gonna win anyway, why not make it a title match?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And since they did not make it a title match, that led a lot of people to believe, thinking R Truth is going to win this one.
And maybe that's their take on things. Twist up the what you think is going to happen.
Maybe.
I mean, even if they had a title match, even if they put it a title match, you still got that possibility of you know him winning.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for in December. That R Truth be the one to beat John Cena.
And who says it's not out of the cards yet? Since he's going to be, maybe he wind up beating him in the long run, even though his contract is fixing to be up. Be his last little hurrah.
Well, I hope he does come back because I just can't imagine him not being there because he's the best thing that they got going as far as the comedic styles with everything that he does in the ring. He when he was in a tag match, it was him and oh I can't even remember who, but R Truth and somebody versus the Miz and Carmelo Hayes. He shoulder tackled Carmelo, and then R Truth just drops down and starts counting 1, 2, and Carmelo kicks out, and there was nobody on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then a minute later, R Truth goes to the Miz and makes a tag instead of his own tag team partner.
Well, it's the comedial role.
Who was
that
that?
he's fallen into.
I'm looking right now to find out. LA Knight. LA Knight was his tag team partner. Oh boy, I can just about imagine the look on his face when Truth was doing that. But holy cow! Okay, next match. Um, Steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I thought that was a good match.
It was pretty good. I expect to see bloodshed. Uh,
I did too.
didn't really see any of that.
We expected to see that at Mania as well. We didn't see it.
Yeah, the flip flopping back and forth with each other's signature moves, I thought was good. I,
I was happy to hear Jesse Ventura on commentary.
yeah, he was kind of throwing out why he's walking out, and I can see why they wanted to have Priest just walk out instead of pin him or climb out. Um, Back in the day, it was either you got pinned or you climbed out, or back in the day, I think it was you climbed out. There was no the door was shut and locked.
So they didn't utilize the door in the early years.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Now, not to say they didn't at different points in time. Now, sometimes it was, going out, climbing out, or going out the door.
So maybe that really was what Jesse was thinking. Um, I was laughing when Jesse was going off on that, and it turned out there was a lot of people in back laughing when he was doing that too. They were loving it. Um,
Exactly, Chris. The big blue cage. I remember long time ago. It may have been It was a Saturday night's main event. It was Hogan versus Paul Orndorff, and Hogan hit the floor. They were both climbing out at the same time on different sides, and
yep,
Hogan came out, landed on his feet just a couple of seconds before Orndorff did.
I missed that blue cage. Fun fact about that: they first used the blue cage at WrestleMania 2 for Hogan versus Bundy, and they did it that way so that the steel bars could support King Kong Bundy because they knew that the chain link wouldn't.
Right.
So they created the blue cage, and they used the blue cage for how many years? At least 10.
And then you had then you got Hell in a Cell, which of course has been revamped since the Taker Mankind match. Like we need to do better on building this thing.
Yeah.
Um, do you remember not
When Taker
having
and Mankind had it, it that that cell was shorter than when it was Taker and Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, because Shane was like 10 feet higher when he jumped off at Taker. I don't know why they had to make it so much taller.
Yeah, the old cage matches back in the early days were a lot different than what you see now.
Hmm.
Um, do you remember the WCW pay per view? I don't remember which one it was, but it had the 3-tier cage.
Oh yes, uh,
It would come off of that movie that was with Arquette that was in.
Thunderdome.
Yeah, was it David Arquette? Um, that was
Rumble.
that was a big crazy fiasco with him winning the world title in WCW back in the day. That was just dumb.
Yeah, that was.
Tower of Doom match. Yeah, that was probably it.
And when he was being congratulated by some of the wrestlers, he had no idea that most of these wrestlers never had that world title, and he really felt bad that he got it and they didn't. In fact, a lot of people say that it's because of David Arquette that Booker T won the title.
Yeah, the concept was good, but they just flopped on the ending. I mean, you got an actor in there as your world champion. It's just dumb.
To be fair, just about everything they did in '99 and 2000 WCW flopped. Um,
Well, was it? It may have been WWE that did this. WWF. Um, where they had the bloodline, or not the bloodline, the new blood against the old school. It's supposed to have been a really good pay per view, and it was leading up to really, really good, but all the new
they did
blood
that
ended
in
up winning.
WCW. They also did that in TNA.
The new blood won every match on the pay per view. I was like, this is just dumb.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, New Blood. That was, I think that was WCW. Let's
But
see.
it turned out to be a not a really good pay per view. I mean, they had a lot of tools to be really good, and they just made dumb decisions,
Okay, yeah, New
dumb
Blood,
writing decisions.
WCW.
Not necessarily writing decisions. Some of the writing was good, but the climactical end result didn't, in my opinion, go well with how they should have done things.
Yeah. Well, one of the really dumb things that they did in WCW right around this time was Judy Bagwell on a pole match.
Well, I wasn't watching during that,
But you know what I'm talking about.
but that would have been. Yeah, I have no idea. But that just sounds stupid.
It was. Um, Buck Bagwell's mother, or whoever came in to be his mother, came in, and for her on a pole match, I think was actually her on a forklift, something like that. It was. I don't remember the specifics of why she was even up for grabs.
We could have a whole show of failed gimmicks, failed matches, failed this. You know, what were you thinking when you did this?
I wouldn't mind doing that.
We could have a whole show just like who writes this stupid stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, who?
well, I mean,
Oh, the wrestler who?
why the wrestler who?
Oh yeah, we could definitely try try to figure out why. Um, yeah, as far as bad things, bad gimmicks, a vast majority of it would come from the last couple of years of WCW for sure. And yes, Russo. Oh man, I have listened to a couple of his interviews. Sometimes he makes perfect sense. Other times it's like, what the hell are you talking about? That's why I like to listen to Bruce Pritchard and Eric Bischoff, Maven. Even Maven makes a whole lot of sense, but he's talking about from his own personal experiences.
Right, right.
Um, okay, let's get back to
So Damien winds up walking out at the match, and Drew refuses to um, get stretchered out. He walks out, which he did. Priest, I guess it was on SmackDown, maybe. I saw a replay or a video of Priest talking and gave props to Drew, for his match in the cell or in the cage. Um,
Well, there's a story going on that Drew is actually was coming in hurt. That he had a hard time turning his head. So this was a way to write him off of TV for a while so that he can recover, and which is probably why they did the concerto,
Probably.
um, which makes sense. And I found it surprising that Michael Cole brought up Edge for this. Is
Not to change. Well, yeah, go ahead and finish it. I got to remember this thought.
you know, I found it kind of surprising that they would bring up Edge, being that he's with AEW now, because most of the times, unless a very special occasion like Sting when he retired, that they don't like to refer to other wrestlers in AEW. But in this case, he did, because he said that Damien had done this to his mentor, Edge, and the concerto was something that either Edge or Christian or both of them created at the same time. I don't remember who did it first. Um, but I thought it was a good way to send Drew off for a little bit. Still no blood, but you don't have to have blood in everything. But I would think that for a steel cage match, you would need to have a little bit of it.
Yeah, especially with those chair shots. I
Yes,
mean, you got to sell it a little bit.
because they were using chairs the last half of the match.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of figured that Damien would win since Drew won at Mania.
Yeah, I was kind of seeing that too.
Yeah. So, what were you thinking?
Oh, about the other thing. I can't even remember when it happened, but the Zoe Stark injury, um, the triple threat with um, was it Kyrie Zane? Not Kyrie Zane. It was um, Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark, and who else was it? It was for the qualifier for the Money in the Bank match a few weeks back, where Zoe came off the top rope doing a drop kick, and
Oh, her announcing she was retiring.
she is retired
Well,
after this knee injury.
I saw that somebody had said that this is actually an AI video and that she never actually announced her retirement.
Okay. When she came off, and I saw a replay of that injury in slow motion, and it looked really nasty the way her knee bent.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's definitely nasty. That's for sure.
um,
Um, and I really wouldn't be surprised if she did retire because that's not the second time she broke that knee.
yeah, she's messed that knee up a few times, and it was rough looking. I was like, ooh, because I had to
Yeah,
watch it. When I watched it in real time, I was like, I don't know what happened. She hurt her knee, but then I saw a video of it slowed down. I was like, oh my god, that's
yeah.
rough. And I heard that changed the outcome of the match because I think she was. I don't know this for a fact, but I thought I heard she was slated to win that match.
I would have been very happy if she did win that match. Um, but Dave Meltzer,
Yeah, same way, Chris. I mean, there's no way that's a work. I mean, the knee doesn't bend in that direction.
Not unless she was made of rubber. But David Meltzer, in his uncredible way, was saying that she was supposed to be the one to take the pin to protect Kyrie Sane.
Rhea,
No, to protect
uh,
Kyrie, that Rhea was always the one who was going to win, and that Zoe was going to be the one to get pinned.
I can see that too.
Yeah, I can see that considering that this was Kyrie's first match back.
Right,
And my thinking is, if this is her first match back, why is she in a qualifying match?
and that could make sense why she takes the pin, and that protects both Rhea and Zane.
Yeah, but either way, I personally think that Zoe was supposed to win.
Well, uh, I'm not sure who's all qualified now. I know Alexa is.
Uh,
I'm wanting to say, did no, that was different. She won the title. So Ruka won the title the other night.
okay, we got Alexa, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, and Naomi. So they have one more qualifying match with Ivy Nile, Liv Morgan, and Stephanie Bakir. Stephanie Bakir is now
And
signed to Raw.
we knew that was coming.
Yes. Julia
Um,
is with SmackDown. Um,
Valkyr or Liv?
I'm going to go with Stephanie because if Julia is in that match, we need to have Stephanie in that match.
I see. I'm gonna go with Liv Morgan. I think Stephanie will have a very good show at during that match.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with Liv.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow. That match is happening tomorrow. And on the flip side, you got Sola Sokoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, and Andrade. And tomorrow night, there's a qualifying match with AJ Styles, CM Punk, and El Grande Americano.
El Grande. El Grande is gonna win it.
Wouldn't that be something if he did?
He's gonna wind up winning it. You watch because they're gonna do some storyline stuff with the other guys.
And why not? Since Penta's in there.
Yep.
Uh, but yeah,
Any one of those guys would be good.
he deserves it, though. So if I were to pick,
You say Penta's in that match too?
huh?
Penta's in that match too?
Yes, Penta is in that match.
Who else? CM Punk and
No, the qualifying match is Americano, CM Punk, and AJ Styles. Already in the Money in the Bank is Penta, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Andrade, and Solo Sequoia.
that Penta tried to kill someone with that 2 man move. That wasn't all Penta's fault. Um, Chad Gable didn't bend his head in the correct way when he went down.
Oh, that. I just seen a real quick clips of it. I don't know what to think.
I mean, he ducked his head instead of bringing his head forward, towards the knees. He went backwards toward Penta's butt whenever Penta went down, and he landed right on his. It's surprising he didn't break his neck. So he's in good shape. That muscled up is probably what saved his dang neck.
Yeah. Um, One person said that Penta must have forgotten that he wasn't in AEW anymore because AEW they've been doing some really stupid things.
Yeah.
So
Last match.
last match, Jay Uso versus Logan Paul.
I thought the match was good overall. There was some good uh, highlight, I guess, highlight reel stuff. Um,
With a commercial airing in the middle of that match, which was annoying. Uh,
back in the day, there were commercial breaks during matches, but it was key points where they were outside the ring. You know, they
yeah,
they were
this
put
frequently.
they were put in there where you didn't miss a whole lot of action. And it seems like now they're putting them in there just at any given time during the match, and you're losing good stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
they got too many of them. But
right.
before we would get 3 or 4 an hour.
If you can put them in there, put your commercials in between matches. Don't put them in the middle of the match.
They did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Don't put it in the mix of the match.
There was one. I think it was between the United States Championship and John and Truth. They had 2 commercials in between those 2 matches. Match is over. They went to commercial. Then they did the whole build up with John and Truth. Then they went to commercial again.
Yeah, I've seen where they do an entrance and they're coming down the ring and they do the entrance and then they go to commercial and then they're back from a 3 4 minute commercial and those whoever it is that just came to the ring is still sitting in the ring waiting for the next one to come in. It's like, what are y'all doing for 3 minutes in
Yeah.
the ring? Wow.
I I feel bad for the people in the arena because while we have to suffer commercials, they got to sit there with wrestlers just standing.
Standing in the ring.
Yeah, like come on already, get the matches out. I
Huh.
think two shits about advertisement. I want to see wrestling.
Well, back in there used to be back in the '80s, there used to be a lot of talking before you got to even wrestle. Even in the '90s, some it was like we're going to talk for 30 minutes before even the first match comes on. So,
Well, back in the old days.
mhm. Not like Mid South or nothing like that, but
Oh,
I noticed like and even the Attitude Era, you sit there and talk for 20 minutes when the show comes on, and
yeah,
you're
they started that in the
building up,
Attitude Era.
you're building everything up, but then it's like, okay, it's been 30 minutes and we still haven't got a match yet.
Yeah, they started that with the Attitude Era when they started doing this whole soap opera thing. I prefer it before then when okay, woo woo woo, then um
Well, come in, and do a quick 10-minute promo, and let's get to business. I ain't got to hear the storyline from the past 3 weeks for 30 minutes.
don't even do a quick promo. Get the first match out there to get the crowd going.
Well, they do that now with getting your top stars out there. Um, get that big music pop. So
Yeah, Chris
so
point
now I
there.
have time spot up before when it's supposedly a spontaneous match. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. It whoa, where'd you go?
I bumped the camera here accidentally.
Oh, and speaking of speed, lately Sol Ruka has been showing up on TV with the Speed Championship belt. So it's like they are subtly recognizing the speed title, at least on NXT.
Is that the one she just won, or what she win?
That's the one that she won right before WrestleMania.
Okay, well, she won a championship a couple of nights ago.
I heard that one.
That's a car going down the
Yeah.
road.
No, she won the speed title about a week before WrestleMania, and then she won the North American title as Stand and Deliver.
Okay, I saw the ending part of that match where she had won. So yeah, she won something. She got a title.
The NXT North American title, that's the Intercontinental title equivalent. Um, yeah, that match with her and Kalani Jordan at Battleground, that was fantastic. I am sure
Yes,
she did
her
not.
finisher. Her finisher is freaking awesome.
Yeah, you should have
Now,
seen how she did the finish for that one.
I kind of saw the replay where she hit it off a ladder.
She
Am I,
did
am
it
I
off
right?
the rope.
Was it
She
off
did,
a rope?
she did it off the ladder at Stand and Deliver, but at Battleground, she did it off the top rope.
Oh, yeah, she hit two of them.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's Stand and Deliver.
yeah, she did two of them. Hit two people with it.
But at Battleground with her and Kalani Jordan, Sol Ruka was just on fire. Um, she
Now,
was on the ring apron when Kalani was already on the top rope. So Sol um, propped herself onto the top rope and used Kalani to steady herself. And then she did one of those face smashers where she landed on her butt on in the ring from the top rope. I thought she was going to break her tailbone. And then, you know how the wrestlers will run the ropes and then do a suicide dive over the top?
yeah,
She did a backflip all over the rope onto Kalani.
good lord, I'm going to go back and
And
watch
it,
Stand and Deliver.
it was very much like that video clip that Chris sent us a while back, where somebody did a backflip off the ring and then didn't stop until he got almost to the entrance ramp before he finally got to the guy. And for a second there, I thought Soul was going to do that.
I like her. She's got one of the better finishers out there right now. I just hope that they don't overuse it. Where you're hitting it two or three times in a match. You know,
Yeah, well, at that point, that finisher is going to lose its mystique.
right, right. If you do it right and don't overuse it, I think you know it'll be good down the road.
Yeah. So we'll definitely see what happens with her. Um, Jay Uso and Logan Paul. Honestly, for me, that match did nothing. It
Really,
yeah, it didn't seem like a it felt more like a spot match than a main event match. Like that match should not have been the main event. That was how I felt with it. Although I know that they put it in the main event because of what did happen, but the match itself to me was not very exciting.
you know, Logan took a good super kick. Uh, I saw a caption of it, a freeze frame of it, where I mean he hit him right in the mouth with his foot.
Oh, you know, I need to go back and watch that because someone else is saying that that was just a made up picture.
Really?
That if he really did kick him in the mouth that far, that he would have broken his jaw.
Well, you they know how to pull. They know how to pull their punches, pull their kicks. You know,
Not from that picture. It looked like he had his jaw halfway back. I don't know why your camera keeps freezing like that.
mine.
Yeah, it's like you do something, then all of a sudden, boom, you jump to something else.
Huh.
Chris, have you
I
noticed that?
got full bars over here. I can see
I
my connection
don't know.
speed.
It seems like you keep freezing for like a second, and then it jumps you to real time.
Huh. Well, I got full bars over here. Don't know what's
I
going
haven't
on.
heard
And
that.
I'm plugged in.
He just brought up Chris Adams. I hadn't heard that name in a long time.
Gentleman Chris Adams.
Yeah, yeah, he died some 20 some years ago.
Really. I remember him and Terry Taylor being tag team, and
Right there, you're freezing. So Jay Uso versus Logan Paul on paper is supposed to be a great match. Now it looks like you're frozen on. Oh, now you go.
did you hear that?
Stay put.
Something going on with my internet apparently.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Okay.
I mean, I'm plugged in, so I may have to restart my router tonight. Maybe what the deal is.
So
But
on
yeah,
paper, Jay Uso and Logan Paul sounds like a great match, and it should be a great match. But that night, I didn't think it was. It almost looked like these two were kind of phoning it in.
well, he did hit him with that uh, iron punch or whatever he calls it, and he still kicks out of it. And, of course, then towards the end, you got John Cena coming down and
Yeah.
interfering. I'm like, oh crap! I wasn't expecting Cody to show back up that quick. That was a surprise.
No. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see him either. Um, but the tag match itself, I think will be really good. But a lot of people are already calling it the Wish or Timo version of Cody and Seth versus Rock and Roman.
Yeah, time will tell. I mean, we ain't got but a couple weeks, or no, we got a week, right? It's Saturday.
Saturday is the Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank.
Okay. Um, I know right now, depending on what time it comes on, it depends on when I get to watch it. I may not be able to watch it till Sunday when I'm at work. I'll be at work back at
Well,
work Sunday.
Sunday is going to be a little bit of a busy day because I got to take my dad and daughter to get their haircuts at 1 o'clock my time.
Just give them your haircut.
Huh?
Just give them your haircut. Both of them.
Dad would never allow me to do that to Angelique. I have been wanting to. Every summer, every time summer comes around, I've been wanting to give her a really short haircut like this. He's like,
Nah, don't
"You
do
look
that.
like a boy."
Yeah, give her a.
It's so cool.
When the kids were a lot younger, we used to, get the girls, cut kind of short, just like shoulder length,
Yeah.
um, just for the summertime. Of course, they're all older now, so they do their own little cut thing.
That's what I wanted to do for her in the summertime because with it being so hot outside. So I and she has really thick hair.
Yeah, that is always a big thing. Get it cut a little shorter and get it thinned out a little bit. How old is she?
She's 20.
Oh,
She just
well,
had a birthday last
get her
week.
own. Let her get her own haircut.
She can't.
No, I mean let her choose her own haircut is what I mean.
She can't. You forget she's severely autistic.
She can get her own haircut.
So unless I took her, she'd never get a haircut. I still got to feed her and bathe her and all that stuff.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, she has that genetic mutation that severely affects her brain. She can't talk. Yeah, she can't really do anything for herself.
No, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So but I've been wanting to. I have wanted for her to get a really short haircut like this, but my dad won't let me. I'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah, I've got a I got one autistic student in my class. He does really well. And then I've got another class that I was doing. Of course, I'm gonna do it again this next year when it starts up. Called Project Search that helps older young adults do I don't know life skills. I'll say.
Yeah.
Um, and we have a volunteer class with them during the school semester and all that, teaching them martial arts and stuff. So all I broke a board during the rank test this past last month, I guess it was, which was really cool. Back on, I know we're talking about that match and all that. Cody, Cody comes in, interferes in the match, and Jay winds up pinning Logan.
Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised by that. I thought for sure Logan would have gotten disqualified.
Well, I think it was a way to, I guess, uh, build up that match is coming up at Money in the Bank.
Oh yeah, they were going to build that up anyway, but I was kind of shocked because when John Cena um, got involved, I thought for sure Logan would have gotten disqualified right away. And then when Cody comes in, ding 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 ding. Um, I thought for sure. How did my thing get turned here?
It's been
That
like that the whole show, hasn't it?
huh?
It's been like that the whole show.
Was it?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even notice that. Um, I thought Jay was going to win by DQ. And then all of a sudden, okay, John gets involved, and then Cody gets involved. And now one, two, three. Whoa, whoa, wait a minute. I thought there was a disqualification. So maybe it
It's
all,
at the referee's discretion.
I guess. I don't know. I
But
don't.
but that leads us up to Money in the Bank in less than a week. Um, it ought to be a good show. Like I said, if I can get to watch it, it'll probably be Sunday before I get to watch it when I'm at work.
Yeah,
So
well, I'll be watching Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank, so that's going to be a long day for me. So if you don't think you're going to be able to watch it until Sunday, maybe we can do a late show that day or try to do something on Wednesday.
Well, well, Saturday, I'll be busy. I won't be able to watch. Probably, I'll probably more than likely have to watch Sunday. Um, Sunday, I work. I'll be at work, so I can't do a show then. And then that whole next week, I'm tied up until whew, I have to figure something out because then you got the 14th I work, which is that next Saturday, and then the 15th is Father's Day.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll have to figure something out somehow or another.
Holy cow! Father's Day is in 2 weeks. Damn.
Yeah. The 10th, which is Tuesday,
Yeah.
we could do an early pre-recorded show, maybe.
Yeah. That we can do.
Okay, let's do that.
As of right now, the 10th is open for me.
Okay, let's do that. I got something going on later in that evening, but if we do an early show,
Yeah, because as you can see, my first full week is almost completely full. First full week of June.
yeah, my first week in June is pretty busy with work tomorrow. Then the 4th, our son is shipping out basic training.
Yeah, we will plan on the 10th.
Okay, I'm gonna put this down on my calendar.
Damn, I'm tired. Oh, yeah, it's almost 9 o'clock. Holy cow.
Yeah, I'm fixing to go eat dinner. I'm starving.
I still got to finish my writing for the day. Luckily, I'm only like 200 words from being done, but still, it's been a busy day.
Yeah, I've said this many a time before. I got too much stuff going on. I got this is crazy. But at one point in time, I was writing a book on Southern Paranormal, how we got started, how me and Doyle had met, early on in life, and then
I think I remember you saying something about that.
it's I haven't written in it in a long time. I need to get back on that one day. But
Yeah, writing's not the easiest thing in the world, is it?
no, it's not. But it's like I got so much going on.
Yeah, that's why you gotta discipline yourself.
Oh, it just and every day something else is added to my plate. So just the way it is. I rest when I'm dead.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll probably haunt somebody.
I sure would like to know who's watching us on Twitch. It's like every time I do a show, there it is.
What?
Look at the comments.
Met him at a show in Colorado.
See the comment from Twitch?
I don't see. I see YouTube.
Oh, well, we just got one of those spam things from Twitch.
Oh, I got you.
Uh, okay, well, we will plan on the 10th, do a pre-record,
You
and
gonna broadcast it on the 14th?
broadcasting on the 14th on National Flag Day.
There you go. We'll do something for that too.
So we'll just bring our little American flags because I've got a couple out in the dining room.
Sounds like a winner.
All right. Okay. Well, we will go ahead and call it. Thank you, Chris, for playing along with us
And we'll see you again on the 14th.
on the 14th, providing I'm able to get this show on. We almost didn't have a show, Chris. Not tonight. It took us almost a half hour to go live. That was fun. All right. Well, Donald, you have a good night, and we'll see you in 9 days.
All righty. Have a good night, man.
Have
Thank
a
you
good
very much.